Looks real cool, dude.
And we're live. And look, Zane's here on time. He obviously got home a little earlier than usual, or didn't go to work. Either way, but
I went to work.
but we're here, ladies and germs, for another Sunday evening of Vampire the Masquerade. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us tonight. Grim and Lena for the hosty hosts. I see there in the chat. Obviously, we've had a bit of a week. We did some map stuff earlier in the week. Also did some Foundry stuff on Saturday, which turned out really, really good. And we had our Lost Mines on Wednesday, which was a great episode. The guys did extremely well. We had a little bit of an issue with a suitably OP spell, which we have since fixed for next session. And it wasn't anyone's fault. It was probably more my fault for not reading the spell properly in the first place and not sort of getting onto it. But we fixed that, so no dramas there. But the guys managed to almost clear out the Goblin Cave. They're nearly finished with that one there. So we'll pick up there on Wednesday with those guys and see if they can finish out the rest of the Goblin Cave and survive. So, without any further ado, we will turn over to our storyteller, aka Orbasm over there, and we will recap last weekend.
All right.
Or the last time we played. Did we play last week? I forget.
Yeah, I think so.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Righty hoes then. So last time we played, we continued our Tuesday night with Jaxon Pip, pulled up outside an area where Zane was last detected. A few phone messages and a call or two had them on the road again, following a lead on their way to Jeremy's house. The elusive Jeremy. Jax organised a dozen members of his security team to meet there. And then they head around the house like a well-oiled SWAT team as Pip organises with Zane to take the power off the grid, at least in the area, to aid. Pip did this from the vehicle. Jax, with his team, move around to where a kindred body is removed from a wall and a nearby shed is searched. Found within are containers of ash and an old-school radio which crackles some code names. As the security team begins to leave on Jax's orders, someone tries to exit the house via a window. Pip makes himself, I can't keep a straight face, makes himself look like a pregnant redhead woman to keep hidden.
Those clips were gold. They were brilliant.
But eventually, seeing things were a bit hard to ignore through the camera feed that he was watching, he heads in. At first, he is hindered by the security, but then he makes himself unseen. However, he grows much hungrier, and he breaks into a neighbouring house instead, feeds on a sleeping man. Jax's team, carefully and as quietly as they can, blow out a window and secure the individual who was within. They quickly find out that this was a place in Pip's vision, and that there are more kindred in cages within a basement hideaway. A quick sweep of the space and releasing of all the other captives is ordered as Jax and Pip collect the important bits and pieces, books and papers. Then they all leave hurriedly as time is of the essence, and it works in their favour because as the last security team exit, they are caught in some sort of light trap or UV trap, but they do manage to get out barely. And lastly, Zane and whoever else is watching the camera, about 15 minutes after the break and entry, actually, our friend Jeremy returns to the house. He inspects the damage, and at the same moment, Jax's spotter radios that he has a target. But before he can make the shot, his radio is cut. Jeremy notices the camera. The Scourge drags Jax's marksman to the house rear. Jeremy shapeshifts into Marco and in a huge cobra, and the two execute the shooter before Marco then destroys the camera. Marco or Jeremy? Jeremy or Marco? The question still remains. We now view in on our team as we've switched nights. It is the following night. After all the events of the Tuesday, the captives taken to where they needed to be, bits and pieces stashed, our team run out of time, and a new day came, and now it is the next evening, the Wednesday evening. The attack on SI buildings is to happen this night. It's crucial this night. The securing of Mary Wade is what is to happen, possibly. The attack on the SI is coinciding with Sarah Barnett's teams, and the weather has turned into an icy, heavy rain. Righto, kindred. As it is a new night, everyone must make a rouse check for hunger as you wake from your day slumber. Thumbs up, that means it's a pass for you. Jax, that's good. Pass for you, Pip, that's good. And Zane, did you pass your hunger check? One dice to rouse the night, one red dice.
One red, what if it comes up with blank?
Means you fail.
It means you fail. It means, Zane, in your wherever you are, in your hideaway, if you're still in the same building, yeah, that means that as you awake, you feel your blood surge. The unlife fuels you, but you are very, very hungry for blood. And I believe you're at 4 hunger now. Yeah. Also, on a new night, you may heal wounds. You guys can heal aggravated wounds once in a new night, and then superficial you can do every scene. So would anyone like to heal an aggravated wound? I think you all have them. Yes, you do.
Jaxon would definitely want to heal an aggravated.
So healing an aggravated takes 3 rouse checks.
Would you look at that? I pass all
3 passes? Nice. You are able to remove one of those aggravateds.
I pass all 3 on 2 dice with a critical, so actually 4 successes.
Oh, nice. That's good. And
I wanted to do it, but
yes, you
end
are,
up in a frenzy over here.
1 hunger away from frenzy, so we can get back to you feeding very shortly. Pip, are you going to heal any damage?
I don't have any aggravated. I think I healed that last time. Just the superficial, which I'll clear up.
I have you down as 1 superficial. Is that right?
Yep.
Sweet.
Nice. So for storytellers context, Jaxon is now 1 aggravated, 1 superficial.
1 aggravated. Sweet. That's what I have. Pip, how did you go on that hunger check, that rouse check?
A bestial failure?
So to get rid of your last superficial, it's just a fail. You don't have a bestial fail while waking the blood, I don't believe. You get another point hungrier. You are now at 3 hunger, if I am correct.
You are correct.
So you have watched over your body. You've felt the wounds on your back knit back together. As of you, Jax, the wounds that you're feeling or have been feeling over the last night or two, slowly stitching back, getting you both to a good place. But Pip, you are much hungrier. You can feel the beast within, and you did feed last night. But that feed's probably what just filled all those scratches and gaps. Zane, have you made a decision? Are you going to feed?
yeah, I'm going to go back to my Fort Knox.
Yep. Oh, yes, so you're in the building behind it or across the road at the minute. You're going to go back to Fort Knox.
Yeah.
All right, and you're going to use some blood bags.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So how many points of hunger would you like to remove? For the scene, you can remove up to 2.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Full 2, so you're taking 2 blood bags. So you, as you awaken, you move yourself across the street into the other building. I want you to be, well, I imagine you would be cautious, so give me a wits awareness as you're moving from building to building. And how are you moving from building to building? Across the main street?
Hell no. Alleys, back ways. So what's in this?
Good to know.
Well, seeing I haven't actually got the blood bags yet, so I'm still at 4, aren't I? So that's 4 blood die in there.
Correct. Yes, you haven't got to the blood bags yet.
I'll like this. loose. Okay, 3.
Sweet. That's good. This is just you taking in your surroundings as you're moving from alleyway to alleyway, hiding, going through. So it's not a big worry. And 3 successes is more than enough. You only needed 1. You're taking in mostly because you know there was people looking for you, so you're cautious. The drone is nowhere to be seen. It's either given up from the previous night, or it's far enough away that you can't hear its incessant buzzing, or they've given up altogether. So you move across the street, and in relatively with those 3 successes, relatively, it's probably fair that there's nothing following you. You're pretty keen and sure of yourself. You get to the other building and get your 2 blood bags. I don't believe there's anything to roll for that. You just remove 2 hunger.
Yay.
That will take you a good 10 to 15 minutes. Now, we know where Zane is. Zane's at his hideaway. Whereabouts is Pip on this eve? Where did you end up previously?
I'm at wherever Jaxon took Pip.
So, yeah, at Jackson's alternate haven.
You discussed the alternate haven. Yep. So you're both there. Sweet. So we can begin with you 2 if you like. What are your plans for the Wednesday eve?
So upon waking, Jaxon will obviously spend the time healing some wounds. He will then remove all of the evidence they collected from the bag that he would have brought back to the haven, the video camera, the books, the pieces of paper, lay out the paperwork. Is the video camera digital or older?
The video camera is digital.
It's digital. So would obviously hook that all up to probably, he's in his office, probably he's got a big screen in his office on the wall. We would hook it up to the big screen.
No worries.
He wouldn't play it at this point. He'll wait till Pip joins him, perhaps. To a second set of eyes is always good, and knowing Pip could possibly use whatever's on this video for a premonition maybe as well.
Okay, no worries.
Extra black die on your next roll, Pip, from Era. And for Zane as well.
Nice. Make note of that, team. And your next...
for Jax, look at that.
Everybody gets one.
Thank you,
Era's, he's feeling really what's the word I'm looking for? Generous tonight.
Generous.
Love it. Right, so Pip, you awakened from your slumber, heal your wounds. You are in Jax's haven. What is it you'd like to do?
I would imagine he would have fallen asleep in the library.
Yeah, so Pip would have been in the library. He would have pushed the point of sleep to the very brink of what was possible to try and get it done, and probably sort of fell asleep like where he finished up in the shelving, and then sort of woken up and healed that superficial damage, got a little bit hungrier, and sort of finished everything up before finding out where Jax is.
Once Jaxon had finished up, he would have come looking for you, knowing where you would be.
I've sorted it all. It's better now.
And
at least something's better.
Jax would walk sort of through the library, looking at sort of glancing over the organisation, and he'll be impressed, 100%. Well, that's certainly going to make things a lot easier to find, Pip. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do.
Had to be done.
Right. I hate to sort of pull you right into this again. I mean, you've enjoyed yourself doing this. Is what you do. We got some more paperwork and books to look over. What we took from the house yesterday, and the video footage, perhaps as well. We might need your skills again, perhaps.
Yeah.
We definitely need to look over that. We also need to decide exactly what we're going to do next. The rest of the kindred, the council, now they're attacking the SI building tonight. I don't think we need to be involved with that. I think they've got that under control.
Yeah.
This Marco Scourge situation, however, has...
Only in this mess because of Marco. He said it'd be okay. He said he'd look after me, and
Well, this is I think this is our biggest dilemma, Pip. I don't know if that's Marco or Jeremy, whether they're one and the same. It's confusing at best.
he was nice to me. But then it doesn't make sense if it's not. I saw Marco. He was there. He was eating them, but to find out about the Sabbat, but then maybe they're not Sabbat. They didn't seem to be Sabbat.
It seems to go deeper than just power within the city. Sabbat are about destroying the Camarilla, and taking power in the city. This seems more personal to me. It reeks of vengeance, but as to what, I'm not sure. If it was vengeance against Leslie, Leslie's gone. He met final death, so should it have stopped there, why continue? Why target us as hounds? Seems to be a connection with Echo as well. I just can't put two and two together right now. There's too many unknowns at this point.
We haven't heard from Mrs. Monroe in a while.
No. The Prince will be doing Prince things, I guess. Obviously organising this attack tonight. There'll be lots to do there. But I've shied away from giving her all the information as well, based on what we've been told and what I know, the information I have. It's difficult to trust anyone right now.
But she's our friend, and she's gonna. Zane's gonna text her, and then she's gonna help Sam because she said Sam would be safe.
But is she our friend? This is the thing. We don't know anymore.
She was nice to me.
So
she was kind, and she looked after. Yeah.
Again, I don't know what to tell you, Pip. I really don't.
And Mr. Riviera, that Jeremy's talked to Mr. Riviera a lot, and he's on his own somewhere.
So, he's on his own because he chooses to be, I feel. But at the same time, I don't think he's safe by himself.
He's smart sometimes.
He's paranoid, and then maybe, which will make him smart sometimes.
Speaking of which, we'll just side shuffle over to Zane. We'll come back to you too shortly. Zane, no, you've finished your blood drive. You're feeling a little better. 2 hunger points moved away, down to 2. What's your next plan?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like I said, smart. No, I'm not smart. Paranoid, maybe.
Contacting the church. By phone, by email?
By phone.
Excellent. The phone is answered by one Jonathan Phillips. He just picks up. You hear it pick up, but he says nothing.
Hello?
Yes.
Who am I talking to?
You are speaking to Jonathan Phillip.
Are you the one that gave me the bomb?
Yes.
And you know Echo?
That is also correct.
Okay, I've had enough of this shit. Hangs up.
God damn.
Your systems, your phone, your computer, alarms go. You are being tracked from that call.
Well, I'll take the SIM out. Or better yet, I'll just smash the phone.
You smashed the phone.
Another one gone. How many phones have we gone through this campaign?
I know, right?
You know, because of your technology skills, no roll needed, you know it takes a little longer than that to get especially at the cell phone and with all your systems. Someone was trying to hack you. You know it takes longer than that to track your position. So with your skills, you'd be fairly safe at this point.
With that, I'm burning the location.
You're burning the location?
Yep. Can I destroy everything?
Okay. So everything you've got there in this building, you're destroying.
Yes.
Good to know.
And I'm out of there. I don't know where I'm going yet, but I'll let you know.
All right. How are you heading? Have you got a vehicle or are you going by foot?
By foot.
All right.
Staying in the shadows and all that fun stuff. I may as well do Cloak of Shadows as well.
All right, Zane, Cloak of Shadows. Cost free. Very good. You're blending into your surroundings, going from cover to cover, keeping as silent and quiet as you can. What do you take with you?
Well, before destroying it, I dare say I would have had multiple phones, so I get a spare phone.
Yeah.
And register it with a different network provider and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, just look for another secure space.
No hassles. For whatever reason, Zane, every time you try and do something, ring someone, get on the computer, someone is trying to hack you or someone is trying to pick up your location. And obviously it bothers you. You're running from place to place. Running is a loose term. Just give me a single willpower roll. Whatever your willpower score is, no blood dice needed. Just give me a willpower roll.
Okay, cool.
Don't forget you have extra dice from the chat if you want to use it.
Yeah, I'll do that. 2.
Very good.
Out of 4.
You're keeping your fear under control. Jackson's voice in your head from some of the things he said in the past. If he can find you, they can find you. Is ringing, but you're good. You've got your technology under control. You're pretty sure they haven't traced your exact or pinpointed your exact position yet. That is all.
I'll let you know where I end up.
All right. Back to Pip and Jax. Jax, your phone will go. It will be one of the... Now, so during previous discussions, teams from Sarah Barnett's crew are going to make attacks on 6 different spaces tonight, 3 of them being SI buildings. The Kindred, the Camarilla, have agreed to put people forward. There are multiple teams from both sides going in, and they will be starting within the hour, these attacks. Did you put people on this? I believe we talked about you having people on these teams.
Yes, one of my teams will be going in the main building with whatever
for the Mary Wade building.
For the Mary Wade building, definitely.
Okay, and how many in that team?
6.
Jack's team is 6. Okay, cool. So your phone will ring, and it will be the leader of the said team. Now, are you allocating any of your major people to the one team, or is this okay? Sweet.
No, I've pulled all them back. For context, for the viewers as well, Jackson's pulled all his main guys that he trusts. So it would have been the 12 that were with Pip and Jaxon the night before at the house, and another 4, so it'll be 16 total. He's pulled them off everything else, and they are now more or less on personal security for Jaxon and Pip. So they'll be in and around this haven and in areas close by as well. And that will include Joe and Francis.
So the call is from your Delta team. It is Ben Smithson, and he just says, basically straight off the bat says, "Sir, we're in position and ready to head in on your orders. Do you want contact with us at all times?"
Yeah, I'd keep me on radio. Like I'll set them up. They're on a radio frequency. Keep me on radio. I'll hear everything you guys do. Don't do anything foolish. Go in when the rest go in. Your priority at this point is intel.
We have radio contact with all teams.
Yeah, let the rest do what they need to do to get Mary Wade out. I want you guys on intel. I want to know everything that may help us find Marco and the Scourge and deal with them. Information that we can take to the council is priority.
Info, got it. If we get eyes on Mary Wade,
I mean, do what you can, but as I said, priority is recon information to secure proof of who Echo really is, proof on whether Marco and the Scourge are working with the SI. Use what they're doing as a distraction to get as much information as you can. We need to get solid evidence.
Okay, will do, sir. I'll keep you in contact mode. You'll hear, Jax, you'll hear radio chatter basically on your radio set up on their frequency between the teams. Okay.
So I'll have that playing quietly on my desk. Not super loud, but loud enough to hear.
Do you give Zane the access codes to radio chatter?
Well, if Zane's got rid of his phone, I have no way of contacting him at this point. So if I do send a text, it'll be to the number I previously had.
He took a SIM card, I believe. So no, you didn't. You just crushed the whole thing. Yeah. Okay, sweet.
So what I will probably do is what Jaxon will probably do, knowing that Zane's paranoid as all shit now. He'll use an email an email address, which would be he'll create a new email address, which will be Spencer & Co. @gmail.com, and he'll send Zane a message which will be encrypted, which Zane should have no problems cracking. Just a basic
Spencer
encryption.
Vmail.com.
Female, yeah, whatever works. And it'll simply say, if you are interested in being involved in rescuing Mary Wade, here are the frequencies to listen in.
Okay.
Make contact with me if you need help. Stay safe.
Zane, you get the email message sent to you, whether you receive it via your phone or next time you open your computer, up to you. Pip, you were sending him a message too, did you say?
Yep, I sent Zane a text asking him if he was dead.
Unfortunately, that text would go to his old phone. He probably won't know.
I'll never know now. I'm also going to text. No, I wouldn't have Echo's phone number.
Actually, I don't think Echo has a phone.
She has a old school phone.
Oh, she does, yeah.
Far less digital than
She was
the
on
rest,
the group call.
so you guys should have it.
Yeah.
And her keeper, or Sam, not her driver, had a lot of her messages delivered to her via his phone too.
So I'll send her a message saying, Sam is still at the church, and you said she would go home, and she's not home because I talked to her, and she's at the church. And I don't know if Zane, like one of those really long messages, I don't know if Zane let you know, but I asked him if he could talk to you because I was hoping maybe you might be able to sort that out, even though I know like there's a lot going on and you're the prince now, and they'll sort of just keep meandering on.
10 or so minutes goes by and the reply text comes through. It's pretty straightforward. It says, she's still there. She will be safe. No harm will come to her. You have my word.
Mute trash.
How what?
He's clickety.
Whoever's typing, mute.
That's not me.
Not me either.
Oh, it's me.
No, it's Mina. Oh, we need Mina in the background. I thought it was trash. He looked intently. It looked like he was typing.
No, working out weather. I'm going.
Yeah.
So Pip will just write back, and it'll take a little while. Okay. Fully written out. O-K-A-Y. Okay.
Sweet. So, what are you guys doing?
So Jaxon would lead Pip back to his office, and where the book that we found, any paperwork that we found as well, and the recording, the video camera would be set up ready to play.
Okay.
And I will probably play the video first.
The video first. All right.
Yeah.
Let me grab the video thingy.
Pip will probably be quite surprised to see that the book and papers are laid out on Jackson's desk in almost an obsessive order, just the way they've been laid out as well.
So first things when you start playing the video, it's clean, it's clear, being a digital video. The first part of the video shows some kindred chained to this bed that was upright like a spring, like a metal bed frame with a spring mattress that's upside down on the back of it. The springs are all buggered. The kindred himself, obvious because his face is drawn, his teeth is out, the pale colour is there. You can see the madness in his eyes, which you guys all know to be on the verge of frenzy. And you see your friend Jeremy, and here, you guys can see and hear everything. It's clear as. And your friend Jeremy stands from behind the camera, emerges and stands in front of this character. He doesn't care about covering the camera. It's not like he's making a video for YouTube or anything like that. He is just recording it for what it seems to be as his own purpose, because he doesn't care if it gets in the way of it. But what he does, he sort of sets that camera up, moves around to this kindred and says, I grow hungry and I wish to take what is yours now. So it is time for you to say goodbye. The kindred on the bed frame tries to pull away, and you can see the chains that are on it almost glow with some sort of magic as he pulls against them, and you can see it. They burn into its wrists, and it typical movie hiss that you would never expect them to do, except for whatever reason it does. Burns its wrists, burns its legs, the waist that it's chained at. And Jeremy says, oh, I've learned some magic in my time. You won't get out of those in any hurry. And then with one finger, elongates a claw and draws it straight across the neck, opening a wound quite easily of this other kindred, and then he begins to feed from it. And within a matter of seconds, he diablerizes this kindred. The kindred in front of him that you're seeing, that you are viewing as he diablerizes it, bleeds. Vitae runs down the front of its bare chest. Its ribs can be seen as the skin sucks in. The muscles all seem to disappear. Its eyes sink in, and it lets out almost like a last breath, though kindred do not breathe. And it slumps, still in the chains, but slumps all its weight, dead weight on its arms. Neck sags as Jeremy pulls away, crooks his neck twice, and says, "Yes, another power I feel within me." And then he comes back over to the camera, blood running down his chin, and the camera turns off. Clicks and turns back on, and you see in second view Prince Taylor in much the same position. Jeremy walking in front of the camera. Much the same ritual. But he says to Taylor, "Oh, I want you to see this. Don't go to sleep." And he slaps him in the face a couple of times. And Prince Taylor says, "Fuck you." Jeremy steps in front of the camera, blocking the view, and then moves to the left side of Prince Taylor on the camera view and says, "Oh no, my friend. It's time you learned the whole truth." And he shapeshifts to Marco. He says, "It's been me all along." You can see Prince Taylor struggling to lift his chin, but he looks in the face of Marco and he just spits, and you can see there's blood in his mouth, vitae dripping down his chin from the beating that he seems to have taken. He spits at Marco. Marco drives claws up into under his ribs and says, "Now that's not nice. I've saved you on many occasions because I wanted to do this myself." Releases his claws from Prince Taylor, who is clearly fighting against the chains as they are burning against his wrists, sparking almost like electricity or lightning from the edges of it. And then Marco says, "It's too late though. They are all getting close. I can't keep you here under this punishment much longer. They are talking of freeing Mary. Jax just said the other day they were making an attack on the SI. So, my friend, Mr. Taylor Squizzy, there's a couple of your powers in particular that I want, so I can uproot Echo from her position, which is should be rightfully mine. Goodbye, you useless." And Taylor just says, "Fucking do it then. Get it over with." As Marco tears into him. After a matter of moments, Taylor fighting, his body sinks, the skin all sucks in. The camera rolls a bit longer this time as Marco drags a bucket over. And as Taylor slowly fades to ash, it all drops into this bucket. And then you watch Marco from the bucket scrape into a nice small metal container, like an urn. All of the ash. As he's heavily breathing, he says, "I feel it within me. All of your power." And the camera feed stops as he walks behind and switches it off.
So that's all of the footage.
That's all the footage on the camera. Yep.
So Jax will turn it off. Well, actually, no, he won't turn it off. He'll copy from the camera to a flash drive, firstly.
Yep.
And put that into his pocket. Turn to Pip and just look at Pip. Well, at least now we know Marco is Jeremy. and the original Marco is either dead or never existed. Definitely a revenge thing, I think.
Yeah.
And a power thing. So Marco / Jeremy wants to be prince. And Echo took that from him, which makes her a target.
The hounds that died at the beginning of all this, one of the ones I replaced. Why did I replace anyone? Why am I here?
That question has been on my lips from day one, Pip. Why are any of us here? Why were we chosen? Specifically. I mean, okay, I have, me personally, expertise in strategy, security, firearms. I have people with me that have explosives and technology expertise. Obviously, Zane can do amazing things with computers and stuff. Echo, I'm still not entirely sure why she was chosen. Maybe her station, her ability to manipulate people, perhaps. Aaron, pure muscle, had to be. You, I would say, it was for your ability to see things that other people cannot. And not just, seeing in the dark or seeing people that are trying to hide. But your ability to see deeper things.
She took everything, and then he took everything I had left. And he sort of walks out. And he's sort of like chewing on his fingers.
Jaxon will follow him and reach out and stop him from leaving.
Okay.
But
He'll turn and snap at you. He'll turn and snap at you and walk away. He's not ready to talk about it.
Okay. So Jax will let him go.
Kind of like Bilbo when he sees the ring that next
Jax would respect that and sort of step away. And go back, at this point, probably go back to the books.
Okay.
And the papers.
Zane, I'll jump to just quickly. Zane, have you decided where you're headed?
Oh, yeah, you gotta love it. Well, not really. Okay, so first port of call is the Red Center Software Proprietary Limited. It's a data center. That's the first one. Second one's Cyber DNA. That's another data center. And the last one is in Port Melbourne, apparently. Not that far in Port Melbourne. Next DC, Melbourne data center.
Okay, so are you heading? You're heading to one in particular?
All three. Not
are you going to all?
Yeah, I'm hacking them or linking them up.
Right, cool. But physically, where is Zane?
Probably heading towards Red Center, which I'll have to get back to you on that.
No, that's okay. Just as long as we know, well, as long as I know the name of it. So you're heading to Red Center, but you are linking up these three tech departments. Cool. All right. And while you're linking them up, I once again, if you just give me your intelligence technology roll to see the ease of this link up, which should be good for you. You only really need one success because it's your wheelhouse.
Damn it. Five.
Nice. Yeah, no hassle. You're able to, basically, no matter where you are, you're able to punch into these companies and do whatever you wish to do.
Cool.
Right. I will say that you hear radio. Oh, sorry, carry on.
No, where you go.
No, you're good.
Yeah, so it'll be linking those up and start data mining locations and all that.
Data mine locations. Cool as. The radio chatter, Jax. You hear your team, and only your team. You have no access to Sarah's team, unfortunately. Anything that's going on in the other buildings, unless you've asked directly, have nothing.
Jaxon is not interested in the other teams. He wants to hear what his team sees and hears.
Cool. You'll be going to the Mary Wade building. They are. They are moving with one of the other teams as far as that's concerned. However, the radio chatter you hear is all one-sided for yours. You know your team. They're well organised, and your team even radios at one stage saying, these guys are good. They've got some great plans. They've given us all sort of an order. We're working with them. We're headed one way, they're headed the other, but we're keeping line of sight. All the radio information you hear is clear, and it seems like the teams are concise. Breaching door silently, moving into corridor, breaching room clear. I'm going to make a roll for them as they enter the building.
I'll have this all set up to be recorded as well, so I have a record of it.
I'm going to make a roll for your team, and I'm going to make a roll for Sarah's team. You will only know what your team say to you. Yep. So, and there's some blood dice. I'm just doing a generic roll for all of them, so it'll be blood dice for the team, black dice for the team. So, with a beautiful messy crit, and they rolled. So I rolled them against the SI.
Yep.
They got a messy crit and 3 more successes than the SI roll, which means that they get through the first room and they clear it quick and concise. Sarah's team, which they radio through, and that your team is Team Delta. They're calling Sarah's team, we'll say Geronimo. There we go. Nice 2 names, Delta and Geronimo. They say Geronimo moved in, swept, cleaned up room just about as quick as we did. And this room is clear. Success. Moving to next space. And we will come back to them.
No worries. So while Jackson's sort of looking over the paperwork sitting in front of him, not looking at the book directly at this point, just the basic papers around, just seeing if there's anything like names that stand out to him, any potential plans, addresses that may stand out as potential locations to find more people or find Marco himself, now that he knows for sure that Marco and Jeremy are one and the same. Cool. He is going to make a phone call, I believe, to the Bruja Justicar.
All right. Do you want to go through the paperwork first, or do you want to make the phone call?
I'll make the phone call first. It'd be a landline phone call.
Nice. Once you make the phone call, it is like a secretary.
Mm-hmm.
You know well that the Bruja Justicar doesn't often answer the phones himself. That is not their job. They have a secretary. Usually it is a ghoul, and you get his ghoul who passes the message on, gets the phone to the Justicar. It takes a few moments.
I let the secretary know that Sheriff Spencer wishes to speak with the Justicar, the Bruja.
Cool.
Using the sheriff thing, even though again it's not public, but just using that moniker as a way to maybe get things done a little bit more expediently.
He does get to him quick. You hear sort of like when someone puts their hand over the phone, that muffled, and then George Barrington, the Bruja Justicar, you hear the click and he says, Jax.
George, this will be quick and to the point. No time with formalities, unfortunately. I need you to take a message to the Primogen immediately after this phone call. No detours. Make it immediate and direct. I have evidence and proof that Marco, former sheriff of Melbourne, is not only a traitor but is responsible for Leslie's final death.
A traitor?
Isn't Leslie's final death enough?
Okay, I thought this was a Jeremy character that you mentioned.
One and the same, as
Right.
it appears. I have video evidence to prove this fact.
And this video has not been tampered with? It is not...
It is
chopped?
fresh from the camera. I've downloaded it myself. I have the footage, the original footage, and a copy that I'll be sending to you directly via Francis.
Yes, I imagine the council will want to see this immediately.
You'll also find with this flash drive a folder with information that the Primogen has some of already in regards to our current prince, who is also a Sabat conspirer. This has also now been confirmed.
And you have evidence as well?
Not direct evidence, but enough circumstantial to make a move, I feel.
We must be careful, Jax. If we go forward with circumstantial evidence, we will be laughed at. However, if you have the video of Marco and Leslie, that I can take through. The message I will deliver.
As far
We'll
as
get more on Echo.
As far as the prince is concerned currently, if I'm to act on the evidence that I have, I will act alone. There'll be no recourse for the Bruja clan. It'll be my actions and my actions alone, and I will take full responsibility for that. And I will present myself to the council for judgment if that occurs. I'm still searching for more evidence, but I'm satisfied with the evidence that I have that she is definitely working with or is Sabat. I'm confident that the evidence I have will show that.
Jaxon, you must be careful. She already has a bloodhound out on the Scourge. If she gets wind of anything like this, there will be a blood hunt on you too. You know that.
I know that. The Scourge is under Marco's control.
Control?
I believe he diabolized Leslie and is now bloodbound himself to the Scourge.
Shit. Okay. Anything else I need to let them know now?
Indeed. I will call you again if I have any more information. I still have documentation to go through, but I will be contacting Francis directly and sending this information to you. You should have it within the hour.
Excellent. If that's all.
That would be it for now.
The other end clicks. You can hear his expediency.
Kind of figured that would get his blood moving. And
I'm
with
just going to
that,
flip over to Pip,
yep, there you go.
and you can go back to the books.
Go back
Pip,
to the books.
what are you doing in your angered state?
So Pip's found himself a corner in the library, and he's taken out a notebook from his bag. It's very intricately designed with the image of the door of Durin from Lord of the Rings on the front with the Tolkien logo embossed in the bottom. And he flips it open, and in the top corner, paper clipped to the side, is a picture of his father, Sebastian Elliott. And it's just a scroll of what looks like nonsense of everything he knows about everything that's happened since he was turned. All the names are in initials only. Some of it is in written Chinese, which is the only other language he knows other than English.
Yep.
And he's sort of flipping through. He sees some stuff about the premonitions he's had. He stops on the page that's about the vision that he had about Squizzy and the taxi driver and all of that. And he just keeps flicking through. There's pages on Echo. There's pages on what he knows about Zane, the whole lot. And he just grabs out his phone and he types out a text message to Marco.
All right.
And it just simply says, "Why did you do this to me? What did I ever do to anyone? I was a nobody and I was happy to stay that way. I do not understand," in capital letters. And he just hits send. And then he throws his phone to the side and he just keeps looking through the book.
After throwing your phone to the side, 5-ish minutes pass by. The text vibration goes. If you've got tone on, it would be tone as well, but it goes off.
He leaves it sitting there for a while. Just like he looks at it and just leaves it because he kind of doesn't want to know what he has to say. So for the moment, he'll just sort of sit there and be in his thoughts about what he knows and what it means.
No worries.
And that'll be it.
Jax, the books, the papers. There was a newspaper clippings on this table as well.
We grabbed everything. So
it showed Leslie's old criminal charges. You can see they were the legit newspapers of that time. Cutouts, they're faded, they're browned, but there's old school highlighter over some of the words, highlighted yellow, very sort of faded yellow words and paragraphs showing things or highlighting things about the Haynes murder, the court proceedings after Leslie shot this taxi driver. Large newspaper pictures of William Haynes himself, his girlfriend at the time, and his little boy. And then there's books that are in front of you. As you start to flick through them, you notice there are 2 years worth of diaries from William Haynes, dated from 1914 through to 1916. It seems he was an avid keeper of records. He barely missed a day, most of the day by day by day. But there's the odd occasion he misses a day or two and then a week. But for the most part, he just about misses nothing. Some parts are too hard to read. They've worn away over the years, but there are things that are underlined and highlighted here too. Things about the way Haynes was treated by Squizzy during the time that he was trying to get away from organised crime, get out of the crime game altogether, and how Squizzy would pull him back in. There's notes on here on the girl he was dating, Shelley Parker, who had a son, out of wedlock, but she had a son to Haynes. They called the boy Warren. That's in the book. And then they both moved away, sort of away from Leslie and his hold, because Leslie got away with murder and they didn't want to be associated with that. And then it basically stops there. There's notes in the newspapers and things afterwards. It circles over the criminal activity that Leslie was doing prior to his death, execution. Then it looks here that someone else is writing in these diaries. It's not the same writing anymore. It looks here that there's notes that the mother, Shelley, and the child moved away to settle down, to get away from anything that Haynes had dealings with. Then there's records tucked into the back of the book from a taxi company showing that Leslie used a false name when he called for the taxi. He knew that Haynes would be the driver and he wanted Haynes to aid him, but if he knew it was Leslie, he wouldn't have come. But someone has collected this after the fact. This is a copy and it's dated 10 years after the death of Haynes. Then in the second book, the diary continues, but it is no longer William Haynes. It is speaking of how Leslie Taylor is looking on this person that's writing the diary, sees him move from place to place. This person is watching Taylor night after night. This can't be Taylor. He's supposed to be dead, the diary states. He murdered my father, the diary states. Then they killed him for it. Or he died. Need to find out. the notes in the diary as you read through talks about young Warren Haynes, the taxi driver's son. It seems to be his diary, Warren Haynes's diary. And he's noting that Squizzy Taylor, this man who looks like him at least, only seems to appear in the evenings. He hides, he keeps out of sight. He stalks him for years. What you can gather from this diary is that Haynes started stalking him around age 16. It follows for a few years the Taylor's misgivings, things that he's doing after his supposed death. And this Warren Haynes seems to make notes of seeing strange things that should not be. Then it notes in rather large, deeply grafted drawing, pencil was pushed nearly through the page here, that one night while stalking Leslie, Warren was watching. Leslie was overcome by enemies, and Warren Haynes, now in his 20s, tails them to an old building. This is the night he's going to take Leslie down. A Mexican thug is going to kill Squizzy, but Haynes wants that for himself. Warren Haynes tries to interject. He's going to release Squizzy, then he's going to get on Squizzy's good side, get close to him and destroy him himself. He gets to Leslie Taylor, whispers that he's going to release him, but alas, Haynes is spotted by a thug. They threaten him and they take him to the leader, the Mexican gang leader. He assumes he is one of Squizzy's human helpers, a ghoul, and in an act of hatred, this gang leader drains Warren, and he describes it in his diary in detail. Leslie angrily says something about the ministry during this back and forth, Haynes notes. The ministry are too arrogant to see their own downfall. And the time that Warren Haynes has given Leslie has allowed him to break free. And Haynes describes Leslie killing them with a terrible wrath that he has never seen. A terrible wrath, most gruesome. And one of the last entries of the diary before the diary stops for a long period is that he is not powerful enough to take out Leslie. He needs to stick with him. Leslie's taken him under his wing. He's going to stick with him and learn from him, and so he can take him down.
The Jackson's heard this story before, directly from
He
Marco.
has. He has.
So obviously putting two and two together.
When in this notebook, it notes that when Leslie asked his name, he came up with something quick. Marco Kane is what he pulled out of. He also notes that he is going to use his years in the future, knowing now after Leslie tells him about the life of kindred, he's going to use his years and his deceit and all his power to get right in cooey with Leslie and everything he can to ruin him from the inside out. It misses some months, some years, then it goes on about shape-changing powers that he's acquired. Then it misses more months and years and seems to get longer and longer between entries. The very last entry, well, second to last entry, is I'm one of his closest trusted friends now. I'm going to have justice for my father, and I will make my mother proud. I wish she was still here to see this happen. But the final entry, the very, very final entry, there is no more entries, no more books, notes how dumb Leslie is for trusting him. He's able to shape change into this Jeremy person that seems the hounds have found. This Jeremy person is quite an idiot. He's going to get Jeremy, who also can shapeshift, to shapeshift into Taylor, and he is going to stage Taylor's death by killing Jeremy. He notes that it went perfectly. Everyone thought Taylor was dead when he killed Jeremy in the graveyard, and just about when he was about to be blown up, he was able to jump behind a gravestone using a hatch. He was damaged badly. He used a hatch to get away under the graveyard again. But he now has Taylor, and he is going to punish him for as long as he can sustain it. And that is the final entry.
So reading through all of that, yeah, Jax will pretty much bag all that up into a folder, get it all ready to go. He'll make a phone call to Francis and get one of the guys already at the Haven to deliver it to the drop-off point for Francis to take directly to the Bruja Primogen.
Sweet.
So that'll give all the evidence I need, specifically about Marco at this point. All the evidence that he has about Echo, including what Zane had told him and what Pip had told him. And basically in that folder would be just written potential witnesses. Zane has gone to hiding. He may or may not confirm Echo's loyalties. Pip saw Echo kill Jenny in my previous Haven.
Okay. So, and you send that, you package that up and send it with...
It all goes to the Bruja Primogen at this point.
No worries.
So that it'll end up in the council's hands.
Good as gold. And on that note, we'll take a 5-minute break for everyone to grab a cup of tea and a toilet break.
Definitely.
And
right,
we'll
chat. Welcome in, chat. Good to see you guys in the chat tonight. We're going to take 5 minutes and we're going to be right back, so don't go anywhere.
Pew, pew.
Well, hello. We're back again. So, chat, a bit of a lore drop there from the storyteller. Good stuff. So we're gonna get right back into it. We've got maybe just under an hourish to go. So we'll get right back into it, get as much done before we have to finish tonight. But thank you everyone for coming, hanging out, all the lurkers in there as well. I see you guys. Thank you so much for dropping in tonight and hanging out with us. We'll hand back over to Storyteller.
Righto, Zane. Headed to Red Centre Software. You get there. What is your plans at this space?
Get there, open their main data center, and tie feeds into that. Then after that, I'll head down to, where did I say it was? Yep, I forgot what I was doing.
Okay, you're going to Cyber DNA next
Yes, that one.
at the World Trade Center in Melbourne. Yeah.
Yep.
So first things first,
Yep.
you're going to, and then you'll be going to next DC, you said. So the Red Centre Software building, it's nighttime. Lights are on. There are people around. You're still in invisible mode, I imagine.
Yeah.
Quite stalky mode. Getting in the building, a fair amount of ease. But these are computer specialists, so you will have to give me that intelligence technology role. This will give you part and parcel with two things. We'll make you two roles here. Intelligence technology first.
Oh, shit. So, yeah, I got 3, but I also got a double beast.
Double beast, eh? That's okay, because 3 successes is what you need. So that's not a problem. You get within the doors, into their systems, find yourself a nice, easy hideaway. You plug in, crack their Wi-Fi code, get through everything you can, setting up as much as you need. But you're also going to have to give me a stealth roll. Now, your choice, it can be dexterity stealth or composure stealth.
I'll go dex stealth. 1.
I'm going to roll some dice here. As you're quietly tapping away on your computer, hacking into their system, a security guard in a blue suit. It has green like badging on it. A local security firm. Nothing to do with Jax's. You know that. You know his logos. And you see this character move along the way. He doesn't spot you as you shift yourself out of the way. You rolled higher than he did. He takes a good look around, walks through this area. You don't see any weapons brandished on him. He doesn't seem to hear what you're doing. You've kept yourself rather hidden from sight with your abilities. And he holds a torch up, shines it around the room a bit. There's lights on, but it's dim light, sort of nightlight scenario. And then he carries on his patrol through the rest of the building. You get through what you're doing with fair ease. I would say with that role that you got for technology, probably 15 to 30 minutes in total.
Yeah.
Doing what you're doing. Is there anything else you wish to do while you're in the building waiting for some of this download to happen?
Yeah, while I'm doing the download, I'll set up security protocols to stop firewalls, basically try and bounce whatever hacks get put through it, bounce it back at them, the hackers.
No worries. Duly noted. You've already made your technology roll. We will go with that. And you are doing this is the job you know well. You've got all access to all their equipment, and in your current form, as invisible as you can be for the most part, as long as you're keeping quiet, you stay unnoticed. Pip, during this time, with Jax going through the bookwork, you've been in the back rooms quietly brooding. Your phone text about 30 minutes ago, I suppose, 15 to 30 minutes ago. What is Pip up to now? Has he calmed down?
He's calmed down a bit, and his hand sort of like slowly moves over to the phone. Like he's still looking at his book, but he's like, it's almost like his other hand's like, I've got a mind of its own, that it wants to know, it has to know what it says. And eventually sort of grabs the phone and opens up the message.
The message from Marco. The reply says, pretty simple. I'm sorry. I wish you no harm. At no time have I tried to hurt you, but things are crazy currently. That is all it says.
He sort of like sits there and stares at it for a bit. And then he flips to the pages he has about Marco, and he writes a note to connect it to the page about Jeremy for now, and just writes that he didn't mean, he's not tried to hurt me, but it doesn't matter. Then he closes the book. He composes himself. He sort of pulls his vest down and sort of probably clears his eyes a bit. Probably a bit of blood sort of coming out of the old eyes, and he collects himself and heads out to Jax.
Pip, how many roaches did you keep on your person?
I think I had one that I kept that's not in the Roach Motel.
And you also left roaches with Sam at the church, did you not?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Give me a wits awareness, please.
Wits awareness. So 3 blood dice, 3 black dice, and 1 extra from error.
Nice.
2, 3, 4, and a bestial fail.
4 successes is huge. That bestial fail means nothing. The one roach you thought you had, still you could only see the one roach, but it looks slightly different. The one you had on you was brownish with some minor black undertones on its edges. The one that sits in front of you currently has more black than brown, and there's a piece of paper tied to it.
And he's sort of like very gently, like trying to make sure he doesn't hurt this cockroach, takes the paper and says thank you, and he'll open it up and see what's on the paper.
It's a small message from your, what would we call him? Your information artist, Van Diemen. It says, and it's very, very small writing because this paper is quite tiny, but the writing says, out of town currently, I have people watching your friends. They remain safe. That is all it says on this tiny piece of paper. The VD Van Diemen logo at the bottom is very, very little.
Sort of like bring the cockroach like right up to his face and say, thank you. And then sort of pop the cockroach on his bag and then let it go from there, whether it wants to stay with him or it's got other business.
The cockroach quickly disappears, but you do notice the other one that you had held onto is moving about your person. You just couldn't see it at the time you spotted this other cockroach. Jax, we'll move to you.
So probably before Pip re-enters the office, Jaxon will collect the papers that are left, and anything there that sort of even has any kind of value that he thinks he'll keep for now. He won't get rid of it. He will put the video camera in a safe that he has under his desk. It's in, like, think of the old, like an old Victorian style oak desk. Has drawers down the right hand side and a cupboard on the left hand side. The cupboard behind the cupboard is a steel safe. So you open the cupboard up. Cupboard has a key lock on it, as does a safe combination safe. He'll unlock that and pop the camera in there, close it, and close and lock that back up as well.
Okay, duly noted.
He will make one more phone call.
Yes.
He will make a phone call, two phone calls, in fact. The first one will be to Joe.
No worries. Joe picks up his phone in the normal way, just saying, "Sir."
Big Joe, can you put people on the 3 vehicles of our prince, please? I want to know whenever she is in any of those vehicles.
Yes, you're talking about the ones we have tampered with.
Yes.
Excellent. People on them. I'll get on it right away.
And they are to contact no one other than me. They send me a message when she's in the vehicle, where it's traveling to, everything.
No problem.
He
hangs up. If you're done, he hangs up.
Yeah, no, that'll be it. And it'll be like, before he hangs up, it'll be like, stay sharp, stay safe. I'll hang up from him, and then I'll place a phone call to Elysium. Landline phone call to Elysium.
Yep, the desk clerk at Elysium picks up the phone. He says, because it's a business, he says, "Hello and welcome to the Gangster's Paradise. We're currently undergoing a name change. We will get to that. But for now, the Gangster's Paradise, yes, what is it?"
Sheriff Jaxon Spencer speaking.
Sheriff Spencer, how are you going?
Could be better. Can you put me through to the prince, please?
Through to the prince. She is otherwise undisposed at the moment. Can I give you Nathan instead?
Sure.
It's a bit of a muffled phone noise. And Nathan comes to the phone and says, my sheriff, what is it you need? Currently there's a meeting in the council. They've got some news. Quite disturbing news, apparently. I'm not 100% sure of what it is yet.
Disturbing news indeed. Has Elysium been under lockdown?
Elysium is triple guarded, yes. As far as lockdown is concerned, it's probably as locked down as it's going to get. But we have what we consider to be our most dangerous on guard.
Be aware that the Jeremy situation has development. He is protean. He can appear as anybody.
Yes, we knew he could shape change while he was the sheriff. It goes further than that then, does it?
Jeremy was not the sheriff, Nathan.
Sorry, I thought you said Marco.
No,
that's
Jeremy.
Storyteller. Okay.
I was like, huh?
That's a storyteller fault.
Yeah, I said Jeremy. So, yeah, I haven't said anything about Marco at this point. I still don't know who to trust, so.
That's fair.
So
yeah. He says, no, okay, that's bad news for us then.
So I would assume we have those that have skills to determine one's true identity.
Yes, we do. We actually have quite a few of them on board. We know about, well, some of our kind that can become invisible, so you might say, so we keep them about at most time.
I would suggest you check everyone in and out of the building for such skills. Specifically right now, as it seems that Jeremy may be targeting our prince also.
Yes. All right, then. We shall ensure her safety as best we can. Like I said, she is in council at the moment, so I imagine she's probably in the safest place she can be. Some of the most powerful of us are with her.
That's good to know. Obviously the attack on their side is going ahead, which is good. Any word from the teams there thus far? Any news to report?
As far as the attack, we've heard minimal, but everything seems to be going well.
I will be joining the Prince at Elysium sometime this evening. Make sure you let her know.
Very well, I will let her know.
And I'll hang up. I won't say goodbye or anything. I'll just hang up.
Sweet. And talking about the attacks on the SI, if you're still wearing your earpiece or you still have it active, there is some news coming through or some radio chatter from that once I scroll to it. So we're in building 2. Here we go. You hear the clear communication from your team. Advancing further into the building. Move into the left. And there seems to be less agents here. Okay, some of our team splitting. We're separating just to go around some corners. The resistance is fairly slim, actually. Team Geronimo has noticed as well. First floor was general, but it wasn't the same count. We're being extremely cautious. I think we've been made.
Jax would get onto radio. Team Delta, first sign of anything you find suspicious, retreat, fall back to secondary haven. Do not trust anyone.
Affirmative, sir. Sarah's Team Geronimo is moving through with quick and utter swiftness. They have no mercy, and we are treating it the same way. But well, like I said, it's quiet in comparison to what we'd noted from days earlier. I'm going to make a roll for the SI, and I'm going to make a roll for the team. If there's anything else to say,
I would pass on possible Sabat involvement. Be on your guard.
Will do. Sabat and the SI, that's unusual. I wouldn't imagine either of those two teaming with each other. So we have a messy crit once again for our kindred teams, and they have more successes than the SI. So, and being a messy crit 2 in a row, I'm going to say that the resistance that they come up against, which I said was minimal, they wipe out with extreme prejudice. They have completely killed the SI they've come across. They've torn them to shreds.
That would have been Jackson's order off the bat anyway.
Some with guns, but mostly now they're moving to their powers. They are utilising their powers to the best of their abilities. Both teams, both kindred teams, the 2 messy crits in a row for them. So they move into the next part of the building, and that will be that for now. We'll come back to them. Who have I done? Zane. Zane must be back to you. He's taking a half hour or so to finish up what you're doing, and another half hour or so to move across to the World Trade Center in Melbourne, where you find cyber DNA, I believe it was. And your plan there, the same?
Yeah, pretty much the same, yeah.
All right. As it gets later into the night, looking at about sort of 10 p.m. now, cyber DNA, looking at it, probably a late night function. I'd say there's still going to be staff here. Looks to be pretty quiet. Give me a dexterity stealth again. You're breaking and entering somewhat, I suppose. So yeah, dexterity stealth, unless there's something you can think of you'd rather use. Go for gold. Don't forget those hunger dice.
Three successes.
My humans... Oh, that dropped that dice on my keyboard. My humans are going to roll against you with 2 successes. You manage to slip in and out without them noticing, or in at least without them noticing, get into the position you need. You're going to be doing much the same as what you were at Cyber Software?
Yep.
Excellent. So give me that intelligence technology roll, please.
So if I get... Hang on. So...
That's a good thing.
That one.
And that's a crit, but you need 2 of those to be a proper crit.
So if that's a crit, does the red one count as well?
Yes.
Then that's a crit.
Okay, so you 4 successes.
Yep.
That's good. So that also means usually that would be a part of a messy critical because you've got that on the red dice as well. So what that would mean is, for you, Zane, who normally would blood bag feed, as you move into this store, you can smell the blood of the security that are here, some of the late night workers that are here. You move into the room you think would be the best space for you to do what you need to do. And as you start quietly, stealthily getting your bits and pieces together, there's a lone computer worker, a female, sitting at a desk, headphones on, nodding away, much like what I've got on here, noise cancelling, nodding away as she's tip typing. She doesn't seem to be anyone else in the space except for you and her. And that blood of hers is very, very enticing. You can smell it. You can see the veins around her neck. And with that messy crit, I want you to roll a willpower for me.
There's no red dice, is it?
No red dice, just an amount of dice equal to your willpower.
1.
1 is not enough, my friend. With a messy crit, you're going to engage in a feed.
This is going to be fun.
So the first thing I want you to do, you've already rolled stealth and you're quiet enough. She's wearing noise-cancelling headphones, so that's all good. I just want you to give me, and you can choose this because you've rolled the messy crit. So I would say dexterity and melee or dexterity and brawl to grab and feed, just to get a hold of her. Or you can go strength, melee, strength, brawl, or something you feel would be better suited for you, but it has to fit the situation.
I can go melee or brawl. It doesn't really matter because I don't have any points in
I would say since you have the jump, you can add an extra dice to your pool.
I think if you don't have any dots, you get automatic 1 die.
It's just a single die.
Just a single die anyway.
I think so, yeah. I could be wrong.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Yeah.
1.
1 success. I'm going to roll to see if she notices you. No successes for her. Your 1 die is enough as you grab her, and you can give a description of how you would feed. Considering this is not your normal feed, how would you go about this?
I have no freaking idea.
Well, we will say,
Or
as you
quickly.
might have seen from many movies, you just push her head to the side, put a hand on her shoulder, being stronger than her, even though you're not strongest of your kind, sink your fangs.
I'll also put my hand over her mouth so she doesn't scream from me.
Good call. Over her mouth so she doesn't scream. You sink your fangs deep into her neck. And I want you to give me 1 more willpower roll to see if you're going to take 1 point, 2 point, or 3 points. If you take 3 points, you will drop her. 2 willpower is good. I was moving in the opposite direction. Basically, if you've got 3 willpower, you're only going to take 1, 2 willpower for 2, and 1 where you're going to kill her. So there you go. You have sustained your feed. You latch on, you keep it there, but you are in control enough that you are able to pull away. Now, if you take 2 points, you would be at 0. So unfortunately, you can't do that unless you do remove her to death. So you're now at 1 hunger, Zane. You are not feeling very hungry at all. The hunger's always there, however.
So I'll lay her, like slump her over the keyboard, not to mess anything up, like she fell asleep or something.
All right. She's just fallen asleep at her desk. Hard at work, hard at play with the headphones, which with your ears you can hear quite clearly heavy metal at its finest. Could be a brutal number from the band Megadeth. Peace sells, but who's buying?
Cool.
And you go back to work in the Cyber DNA building.
So
Checking.
the rest of this session, Zane, you if you fail on a roll, you can roll a free willpower.
Oh, there it is.
So I will grab her phone.
Yep.
And make a clone of it.
You're going to make a clone of her phone? Yep.
Yeah, on my laptop.
Okay, cool. During this time, one security guard moves in and out of the building. Doesn't seem to be as adept as the last one. Just walks past, looks in the door, walks past again, carries on his route. You make a clone of her phone. I don't think you need to roll for that. It's something simple for your type of character. Is there anything else you'd like to do before we switch scenes?
No, head off to the next location.
Excellent. Back to Jaxon. Pip, you said did you say you were moving into the same room as Jax?
Yes, and on that, about what time would I have come out to Jax? So he was on that first message, and then he rang his team member. Would I have come out when?
Yeah, I think during that second call, probably. Yeah.
So Pip would have sent a message.
Who did you send a message to?
To Echo.
Yep. What does the message say?
It'll read, "You've kept me safe and taught me the ways of this unlife. I am grateful to you, and so do not wish to see you come to harm. I still do not understand the politics, why kindred are hell-bent on each other's destruction, and why it must all be so horrible. But danger comes from all sides. Be safe and travel light." And then I'll turn my phone off.
All right. With your phone turned off, you have no idea whether she replies or not.
At this point, Jaxon would look up, see Pip come in. You'd probably come in, if you come in partway through that call, he'd hear the second call to Elysium, to Nathan as well, warning Nathan about obviously the impending danger of Jeremy and the fact that he's targeting Echo as well. He'd look up at Pip and just one question at this point. Who is your sire, Pip?
She doesn't matter. I meant nothing in life, and I mean even less now.
That's not entirely true. I mean, I don't know who you were in life, but in this unlife, your importance, I think, is much bigger than even you think at this point. You were right about, as it turns out, Marco. Marco is Warren Haynes.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why he chose us to become Leslie's hounds. I still don't understand why. Well, actually, I kind of do understand why he's targeting Echo. Seems he wants to be Prince. And Echo took that from him. So at this point, it doesn't really matter which side Echo's on. She is in inherent danger.
Yeah.
And until I know for sure that she is my enemy, I'm kind of sworn to protect her.
Enemies from all sides. And we have knowledge, and knowledge is power, but it's not enough.
The knowledge we now possess has gone to the council. So Echo also has that knowledge, as the council is now meeting with her. Whether that will save us in this instance, Pip, I'm not entirely sure. Because as I said, I'm still not convinced that Echo's not our enemy.
And what of Mary Wade?
That is still going on. From what I've just heard from my team, even that doesn't seem right. So what Marco told us in the park may be true. She may be working for the other side. I don't know. It's just so many things that we don't know. We find answers to one question and it leads us to 12 others.
Shall we stay here, or?
Part of me wants to, as I know this place is secure and it would take an army to breach these walls. But as I said, as sheriff of the city, I'm duty bound to ensure the safety of our prince as well, which means we probably should go to Elysium, which is where she currently is. I've not heard, I don't think I've heard back from Zane. I haven't checked my emails, but I don't know that Zane is either with us or against us or what he's doing. I know he's gone into hiding.
Good question though, Zane. Did you reply to his email?
I haven't even looked yet.
You haven't looked? Okay, sweet.
So at that point, I will actually open my laptop on my desk and just have a quick look to see if he has replied. Seeing that he hasn't, it's like, well, I'm not going to give you orders, Pip. I'm not going to tell you what to do, how to feel, any of that. Your decisions are your decisions. What do you want to do?
Things can't stay like this. Something has to be done, and you're right, we should go to Elysium, and hopefully Mr. Rivera hasn't done something that'll get him killed.
I hope not either. Well,
We should go now.
we should. Time is something we don't really have right now. So with that, Jaxon will get up from his desk. He'll go to almost like a steel locker, but it's hidden in the wall. Like everything in his haven is kind of old school 1920s, 1930s decor. Like it's that sort of Victorian. A lot of it's even some of it's even early Victorian era type stuff. But behind a wall panel next to his desk, it's just a pop-out wall panel. He'll open up, and it'll be essentially a small armory. He'll have pistols, the machete that he carries up in the back of his jacket, all that'll be there. And he'll rearm himself, extra magazines, just in case. He will also take a third pistol, a smaller pistol, smaller caliber, 9mm, almost a short semi-automatic snub nose, which only has a single magazine, 8 rounds, which he will put inside his right boot.
Okay.
And he will then look to Pip and say, well, whenever you're ready, we can get going.
Pip will grab out the pistol you gave him. He's like, would this kill one of us?
With the ammunition that's in there, I don't think it would. I mean, it could, given the right circumstances. You could seriously hurt one of us, definitely.
Do you have anything better?
If you mean bigger, yes. Actually, I think I have the perfect thing. So I put my hand out to take the pistol from you.
I'll hand it over.
I put it into the case in the thing here, and I pull out a shotgun. It is a M10. I guess an M10 riot shotgun. So it's a pump action shotgun. Holds 8 rounds in the tube, an extended tube. It has a tactical stock on it. No sights, no need for it. It has Dragon's Breath incendiary rounds loaded to it, and I'll give him a box of 12 extra cartridges as well.
Yoinks.
And I just hand it to him.
Here's the noisy cricket.
I don't cock it, but I hand it to him and say it is ready to fire. All you got to do is point and shoot. Anything within 3 or 4 meters will be engulfed in fire. You know what fire does to us.
Yeah.
And then I hand him a box of cartridges as well, so 12 extra cartridges.
Sweet. So make a note of that. Pip,
I show him where to load it, knowing that he probably has no knowledge of firearms, unless he's read about them. But I show him how to fire it, how to load it, and how to cock it, and literally point and shoot.
How many rounds did you say?
So it'll be loaded with 8, and you'll have a box of 12 extras.
Pip, when you go to fire this weapon, you'll be doing whenever you go to do it, probably a strength or a dexterity firearms roll. So just bear that in mind.
Yeah.
And it'll definitely give a kick. So yeah, a lot more powerful a kick than the handgun that he had.
As you guys are prepping, getting ready to head to the vehicle, the radio chatter in your ear again, Jax.
I'll remove the earpiece and actually have it turned up so Pip can hear it as well.
Oh, you've got to tune up so Pip can hear it. Sweet. Can hear the leader of the crew, Ben Smithson is giving orders to his team. Make a left here. That's her. Geronimo team has eyes. Mary Wade, inside. We're taking down the guards. They haven't spotted us yet. Still seems like a lot less people, but we have eyes on her. This could be a trap. We're taking all precautions. Only send in necessary people. So this is...
I would tell them to hold back until they're certain that it is safe to extract her.
Okay, so this is just rolling to take out the agents nearby. Yep. So I've got 2 bestial failures this time, but they still have more successes. Well, they're the same. 3 and 3. 3 successes for SI and 3 successes for our team. However, the second team for Sarah Barnett gives them the advantage, giving them more successes in the long run. So a couple of your team over the radio chatter, you can hear the beast is taken over, and there is some gunfire that you hear back and forth. And Ben says, damn it, we lost one. But that's one so far. That's better than before. Oh, shit, he's on fire. Move back. And they all pull back. You can hear the other team noise chatter. Geronimo team pulling out. Moving to the corridor. Fire. Then I'm going to roll for Mary Wade. Okay, so Ben says, they've got her. Geronimo team has let her free. She is out. Oh my fucking... And you hear come over the radio and move back. We're going. She is destroying them. Mary, with us. Follow us. And you hear them back out of the way. We are on exit. Geronimo team and Delta team on exit. We have the package. Sounds successful.
I would then say to them, exit with asset exfil to Elysium immediately. I will meet you there.
Copy that. Still have to get out of the 3 floors of the building. Should be good. She's wiping them out. This is unbelievable.
Ensure that she does not take any more damage, but stay out of her way.
Will do. And with that, the radio chatter goes to silence again.
And it'd be at that point that would have been doing the weapon thing. As that came through, it'd be heading towards the vehicle. So I just turned to Bip and it says, well, that sounds like a relative success. Let's head to Elysium and see if they've got any more news about Marco and the Scourge and what we're going to do next.
Yeah.
And would head to the vehicle. And again, using a nondescript black SUV type vehicle.
Okay.
Staying away from the more exotic vehicles. Try not to draw attention to oneself.
Pip
No
gets in the
worries.
back again.
Pip in the back.
Jaxon will, at this point, just as
Jaxon
a
will
point
be
of
his
reference,
chauffeur.
will be his chauffeur, yes. But Jax, I'm going to throw up rapid reflexes as we
Okay.
get in the car, just as a precaution for the travel to Elysium in case we are attacked.
Okay.
Obviously, we know that we are targets, so we need to be ready for anything. So Jackson's being overly precautious, I would imagine.
Absolutely fine. And you're heading straight to Elysium.
To Elysium, yep.
Excellent.
We will leave through. There's 3 exits from the Haven. One to the north, one to the east, and one to the south. We'll be leaving through the southern entrance for vehicles. And
No
we would
worries.
have come in on the north. Just I never enter and leave in the same exit.
No problem. So first things first, give me a dexterity drive roll for you, Jax, as you have
Dex drive.
being
no
cautious,
problem.
you're using different ways.
Have an extra die from the chat. That is a 3.
So 3. And then give me, so that's a pass. You've successfully avoided anything that might have been coming your way. You're not driving crazy. And now give me a intelligence awareness for both of you, Pip and Jax, as you come out of you exit into the road sort of space. With
That'll
cars
be a
and things.
2 for me.
2.
What was that again?
Intelligence awareness, please.
Ooh. Lots of dice. 3 and a bestial failure. It really likes the little skulls today.
At least you're not getting just the skulls.
Yes.
For you, that is fine. 3 is plenty. So both of you note the streets, 10-ish, 10:30-ish, rather clear. A bit of traffic, not major. You head out into the road. No one seems to be following. You've got good eyes, both of you. You've got good senses. No tracking. You are happy that where you are going, you are basically just the 2 of you on your own.
Does the SUV have a clock in the dash?
Yes, it'll have a digital clock, I would imagine.
Pip will be staring intently at the clock on the dash, and he will begin to think about one Louisa Ashton.
All right.
Nice.
But he will wait. He's got a little bit more control of his power, I think. He will wait until he thinks we're about a couple of minutes out from Elysium before
Okay.
making that, pushing that premonition.
Sweet. You focus on that clock and you keep that premonition down, like bad indigestion, trying to hold it back till you're ready.
Yeah.
Zane, you've moved, got what you need from Cyber DNA, and you've moved to next DC over the last 3 to 4 hours. The Melbourne Data Centre, which is in the port, we said, was it not? Yeah. Port Melbourne, controlled by the Anarchs. You've moved from Camarilla-controlled areas into the Anarch space now. Fisherman's Bend, you go through to get there. Are you going by vehicle or by foot? This would take much longer by foot, just so you're aware.
Muted.
You are muted, my friend.
I keep forgetting that. Yeah, be by foot.
Okay, so you're going to have about...
Keeping to the shadows and all that.
Stab in the dark, a half an hour to 45-minute walk to get there. Taking the shadows, taking the back alleys, probably cost yourself a little more time. But you finally get there. Your plans here are much the same.
Yes.
Good as gold. We're going to make the same roll. So give me that stealth, dexterity stealth roll, please. This building seems to have a few more guards equipped on the outside car park area. Just general security. Doesn't seem to be any workers here at this time of the night now. You're pushing sort of closer to 11 o'clock now. 4 successes. Very good. The way you enter and your unseen sort of guys keeping to the shadows, you find as the guard enters a door, you're able to sort of sashay in with them. You move into the space you need. This building is a maze. Temporary office walls and bits and pieces all over the place, but you finally get to the main server room. Give me that intelligence technology roll, please.
4.
4 again. You're doing very well. This is nothing. You've done this twice tonight. Really, just getting in the building was the hardest bit. There was more guards around here. But now, you're happy as sitting in the space. You've plugged everything in you need. You've lashed yourself onto their Wi-Fi. You are at home, as far as you're concerned. This has been a fairly straightforward, easy night. I'm going to roll for Wandering Guard. Bearing in mind your stealth, which my 1 success and 4 no successes is nothing. That's taking into account multiple guards doing pass-bys. You go completely unhindered here, doing what you need to do. Do you check your emails, or do you have a new phone at this stage?
No, not at this stage. As I said, just doing this to get set up, and now I'll be moving to Quest Docklands Apartments.
All right. It takes a little quicker. It's not as long to do what you have to do here as you've done it twice already in this night. You rerouted what you need to. You've got all the information from the system, and you head to the apartments within the half hour. The Docklands apartments nearby too, so that's good. So with that, getting to the apartments, your plan here is?
Use my black market contacts to get a supply of blood bags.
Easy enough done. And you get that supply sent somewhere local where you can pick them up, or you're getting them sent to here?
To the apartments.
Okay. It won't be instantly, but it will happen within 24 hours.
So with that, with all the security features that I've set up to stop any hackers that try to attack the system, any system that I've hooked it into, will get it bounced back onto them.
Okay, cool. That's your plan. Whenever you, in the future, make a technology roll to stop hackers from getting through your system, you'll be able to add an extra 2 dice, an extra 3 dice, 1 for each building, to your pool. You can bounce them off wherever you like, since you've done a ton of preparation this evening. It's very similar to what the attack teams are doing. They have extra dice because of the preparation that was made. So just make a note of that, because I'll probably forget. And we will switch back to... there's nothing else Zane wanted to do in this time? No, cool. Switching back to Jaxon. Pip arriving close to Elysium. Within the block or so, we'd say. Pip, are you still trying to call forth a premonition, or are you still holding it back?
I'll have the premonition now. Arouse the blood.
Rouse that blood.
Success.
All right, so give me that dice pool of resolve in all specs, please.
No worries. Ooh. So I have 3 successes and the skull again. But I'm going to spend a willpower to try and get another success from my... Because this means a lot.
So you may spend a willpower, and it allows you to roll up to 3 unsuccessful dice if you wish.
Yes, black dice.
Except for the blood dice, yeah.
No worries. Awesome. So now I have a critical, so that's 4. I have 6 successes and the bestial.
Nice. The bestial doesn't matter because the successes overrule that quite substantially. And you are focusing on...
the current time and Louisa Ashton.
Louisa. Okay, the current time and Louisa Ashton. As you sit there focusing as the vehicle pulls around about a block from Elysium, Jax, if you peer in the rearview mirror, you see Pip's eyes basically go black. They roll to the back of his head, and instead of white, you just see black hazy smoke in his eyes. His face greys right out, as grey as if he's about to do some vampiric craziness. The thing you always get when all of you rouse that beast, your faces contort, you look more like animals than people, and you can see he's locked himself.
Yeah, I would pull over.
You pull over? Yeah.
And just watch him, just in case.
Cool. And he's locked this endless gaze of dark eyes. Pip, it's almost like going down a hydro slide, the sudden rush as you focus. This is the most focused vision you've ever had because you have poured time and effort into it. You instantly are transported. You can see and hear everything that's going on within the space. It is hazy on the edges like a dream, but this is the first time you've really been able to hear audibly everything that's going on. You can smell the wood, the stained wood around you. You can see church pews and chairs, altar, candles. You can smell candles burning. You see Jonathan Phillips, and you've seen him before, commanding presence of a man, black suit, very much like a priest. He has his hat on indoors. He's just come in from outdoors. He hangs his hat up and walks over to one Louisa Ashton, who stands within the church. She's in her usual outrageous bright red colours, still looking stunning as ever, as you remember. She greets Jonathan Phillips, almost like you'd imagine a daughter would greet her father. Just leans forward on his shoulder and gives him a peck on the cheek and says, "Welcome back." Then he says to her, "You may not have them, none of them. They are all to be kept safe. I have told you, it does not matter how you treat me." And Louisa says, "It's quite all right. I just wouldn't mind a taste of that darker skinned one. She seems so lovely and so intertwined with him." Jonathan says, "No, my word is my word. Echo has asked they be safe, and they are safe." if they do not join, like Echo says, then we may have our fun. But until then, the two females are to be left alone. Now be gone. And you watch Louisa. You almost feel her feelings of disappointment, her feelings of hunger. She moves away, and as she turns in the space, you can see multiple people in this room, seated along pews in a church. They don't look to be praying, they just look to be seated, sitting, listening to the emptiness of the room, taking in what's around them. But upon closer inspection, give me an intelligence awareness, Pip, please, within this premonition.
Four.
It's a good roll. Your wits are about you. You're focusing on Louisa. You follow her through. She sits at one of these pews, and as you look along, you see 2 or 3 kindred in one pew, 2 or 3 kindred in another, 2 or 3 in another. And as you glance around Louisa's position, it's probably 20 or so kindred in this space. At what first looks to be like holding hands and leaning like they're watching a movie on each other. As you can move yourself happily around the space, as long as Louisa's in your view, you can move to any position you want. So would you like to be behind Louisa, looking to the front of the church, or beside Louisa, looking either way, or in front of her, looking to the back of the church? What's your preferred view here?
Be in front of her, looking to the back.
Good choice, as you would get the most viewpoint of what's going on here. You can see multiple of these kindred that look like they're holding hands or leaning close to each other within this church space are just taking small amounts of blood from each other, one biting into the wrist of another, and then the previous one that's just been bitten biting back. Louisa doing the same thing with another one of these kindred, and then they move from seat to seat, sharing their own vitae with one another in some sort of almost sexual orgy-like ritual, but in a church hall type space. It's very weird. And you drop out of the premonition at this point, unable to see any more. You did not see your friend Samantha. I was going to say Sam, and then I finished the word, so that's why that sounded funny. You do not see her in the space that you were focusing on.
Nice. So Pip will drop out of the vision, and almost with business-like, he'll grab a book out and he'll start writing.
Okay.
And he'll look up at Jax.
Probably wouldn't say anything to him. Like he'd be looking at him through the mirror, but pulled over the side.
And he'll
of the
look
road.
up at Jax for a second. He's like, "We can keep going if you like."
And Jax would nod and pull out and head to Elysium.
Just before you pull out, Jax, there's a tap on the window.
The windows are tinted, so I'll look and to see who it is.
It seems to be an officer of the law.
Blush of life.
Rouse
That's
that
a rouse
blood.
check, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, success.
Success, Pip. You see the officer of the law through tinted windows too.
Pip doesn't care.
Doesn't care.
Yeah, I'd keep the officer focused on me, I think, at this point anyway. So I'd roll the window down, not all the way, probably about halfway.
Touch.
Evening.
Good evening. What are you gentlemen doing here tonight? Well, gentleman, what are you doing here, sir?
Just pulled over. A friend in the back wasn't feeling well. We're just getting ready to head out, actually. He's feeling a little better. Bit of car sickness.
That's good. You don't need a hand?
No, we're good, thanks.
Okay, that's fair. Whereabouts are you headed tonight?
Just into the city.
To the city. You know, I know this great little place you could go to.
We're not really looking for anything busy. So just something to have a nice quiet drink.
How about come with me and have a nice quiet talk? And his face moves to that of Marco. Shimmers, the skin pushes out. He says, let me ride with you. I'll take you to somewhere we can chat.
I would glance into the mirror towards Pip, because I'm assuming Pip can hear this. And just to see what reaction Pip's giving.
Pip, what's your reaction?
Pip's gonna keep riding. He's aware, like there's an awareness in his eyes, like he sort of looked up, and then he's like back to what he's doing.
Okay. So we're only like a minute or two out from Elysium, so we're pretty close.
Like a block away. Yeah. Yep.
Just thinking, what would Jax do at this point? Sorry, Pip, but Jackson's gonna do what a Bruja would do. So hold on, buddy. Jaxon, with rapid reflex up, would literally remove the pistol from his right side holster, point it through the window, and just dump the mag into Marco's face.
All right. Marco. Someone's going to say Polo.
And the moment he does that, like quick succession, he'd just stomp on the gas and go as well.
So how many rounds in the mag?
12.
He's 12, you said. Okay.
So 12 incendiary rounds.
Okay, the minute you move, he has much the same quickness as what you do. Which let's make. So you've got rapid reflexes up.
I do.
He also is using rapid reflexes, and he is.
So dexterity firearms.
You make dexterity firearms. He's going to make a dexterity athletics.
Where is my dexterity?
If you've got any dice from the audience, I imagine it's a good time to use it.
It's a pretty big dice pool anyway. Oh yeah. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9 beats my 7, and I don't have any crits either, so that doesn't help. 9 to 7. So you, as soon as you fire the gun, you get him with the first shot instantly. Now, 7's no sniff at on his pool either. As far as you're aware, you bam, 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 and as you're sort of winding that window up and putting your foot down and releasing the
Don't
rounds.
even worry about winding the window.
You don't even wind the window?
It's
Okay.
just weapon out the window, foot on the gas, and gone. It's more of a distraction for him to stop him from trying to latch onto the car or anything like that.
I understand. He rolled less than you. You are quicker than him off the outset this round, and you are gone. Looking in your rearview mirror, you can see as he just wipes his face down and shakes his head. And we'll call the episode there and find out what happens next week.
Just for storyteller's reference, remember they are incendiary rounds too, so they will be
they are
not
indeed
just bullets, but fiery bullets.
That is correct. That's a good point, actually. At that closer range, I will have to make a roll, but you also will have to make a willpower roll.
2 successes.
Okay. Nothing changes. You see what you see out the mirror, but his face instead is engulfed, and you can see he's putting it out with his hands. Doesn't take long as you peel away to see he gets it out quickly, but you know that damage is definitely done. At least one round hit him direct. Pip, that fire won't affect you. You were face down writing. It would have been a quick blast in Jackson's face.
The sound of the pistol going off the car would have been super loud.
Definitely super loud. Yep. Luckily, no one had audio boosted for themselves. But yes, we will call that there, people.
Damn.
Find out what happens next round.
Indeed. Well, chat, another very interesting evening from us. Trey, thank you for the raid, dude. Appreciate it. You come in towards the end, but I appreciate the raid nonetheless. Welcome to Trey Hawk's crew. Glad you guys come and stop by and hang out with us even for a short time. Chat, make sure you go check out Trey Hawk as well. He's a long-time supporter of the channel, and we support him when we can. So if you're not following him, please do next time you get a chance. Well, GG's team. An interesting evening, a huge lore dump from the storyteller, which was awesome. As I said, we are getting close to the end of the story arc, and the end of the Blood and Belief Chronicle. Not sure how many episodes we got left. I think it's coming to a bit of a head, so I think we're getting close.
I expected it to be about here somewhere, so it just depends on what you guys do, really. But yeah,
so we're getting close. So, usual, I guess our usual storyteller, you can choose who goes first. We go around the table and get some moments from tonight's episode. Chat, same for you guys. If you got some moments that stood out for you, chuck them in the chat. We'll read them out. Can be storyteller moments or player moments, up to you, or just general moments. Let us know.
I'm going to go in opposite order of what I see on the screen here. So, on my screen, so it won't be the same for the viewers. But Zane first, I think.
Have to be the storyteller, the Lord dump. That was awesome.
Sorry if it was a bit long-winded.
No, I love it. It puts clarity on things now.
Excellent. Good to know. Good to know it wasn't just, hey, that doesn't make any sense. Sweet. Thanks, Zane. Jax.
Luke2387, thank you for the follow. Just I'll acknowledge that while I see it. For me, the lore dump definitely. It definitely closed off a few areas we weren't exactly sure on. We had some, I know we'd discussed as players of backwards and forwards, and I know my character had his suspicions about the whole Leslie Taylor thing, whether it was a revenge thing or not. So that lore dump definitely clarified a number of things, but also added some confusion as well with other things. So the usual stuff, you get a lore dump and it just changes some things a little bit. Apart from that, GG's to Grim. Pip, the Pip swings and his personality, I think you do that so well. Just 1 minute he's just mild-mannered, just like scared, and then the next he's sort of serious and focused and not so much angry, but I mean the anger definitely showed through, but it's just that extreme focus on what he's trying to achieve, whatever that may be. Just that switch backwards and forwards is really cool to see, and the interactions across the board with Pip I thoroughly enjoy. I mean, it's just a lot of fun to RP out. And Zane being a paranoid fuck as usual. So, but well done, Trash. Like obviously the knowledge you have in the tech area certainly helps in your character. So it definitely GG's to you too, bud.
And Pip.
So tonight for me was all about planning. So Zane's planning about how he was going to combat these people continually tracking him, his thought behind it, and then the storyteller going, right, you've done this, I'm paying that with extra dice.
Yeah, definitely.
And I thought that was great. And then Jaxon's there planning for all these things that are sort of going on at once, and sort of like, yes, I could sort of see him like overseeing like a whole pile of stuff. He's like, this is what's going on with the prince, and this is Marco and the Scourge, and this is the Mary Wade situation, and sort of like delegating teams and deciding what needs to go first and all of that. And that was really impressive. And then of course, you know, the lore dump of Warren Haynes sort of plans to sort of get to a position that would benefit his want to see the end of Leslie Taylor, but also possibly that growth of power in having his eyes open to that world and where he's at now. This was really good. So,
Cool.
GG's.
Yeah, and I agree with all of you guys. The everything tonight for me, other than the lore dump, was just really about what you guys are doing. So, yeah, Zane, 100% with his trashy, 100% with Zane's planning. I just thought that was well done, going from one place to the next place to the next place, setting everything up, making sure you were well covered, not staying too long in any one area, and making some good rolls at the same time, which is very helpful. The little feed, that was handled well too. Could have gone worse. It was all depending on dice. Jax, cool, calm, and collect. Going through that stuff, organising your teams. I agree with Grim on that. It's just good to see that you've kept that same sort of attitude most of the way through, where you ring someone, you give them a bit of info, you ring the next person, you give them an instruction, and you work from that way, including the teams. It's good. It works out. The boss of the agency, as well as sort of taking charge in that role.
Little known fact about Jaxon: under that cool, calm, collected exterior, he is seething with fucking anger, absolutely seething over what he's just found out. So he's just trying to keep cool for Pip more than anything else.
My top note for tonight, though, is Pip's anger. Pip's Bilbo Baggins with the ring moment.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah,
that for me was, Pip's always like made a joke or done something sort of funny behind the scene. It's always been, usually my Pip notes are like, oh, he did that was funny. He did that was funny. I think tonight the one for me was exactly that. He just got angry, and then he went to the next room. Jaxon went to sort of come behind him, and Pip was like, nah, I'm not having a bar of it, and bites back and had his time. And I thought, okay, he probably just was pushed everything down and down and down and down, and eventually it got to that point where it was just boom time and he needed that space, and I thought that was well portrayed. So no, excellent game.
Definitely. I think even Jaxon as a Bruja would have said, well, okay, I'll leave you to it. I'm not going to push that. I'm not going to poke that bear. I mean...
That's it for me.
All right, chat. That is our show for this week. Obviously, we'll be back next Sunday for the continuance of this particular story. As I said, we are getting too close to the end, so any session moving forward from this one could be the last session. So if you have been following the VTM, I thank you, and you'll definitely want to be here next week. If you haven't been able to watch them live, they are all available on YouTube. So ! Socials in the chat will give you all the links that you need, the Twitter, the Gilded, and the YouTube links. Everything's up there. All the VODs from our stories, the D&D and the VTM is all there. This one will be up in a couple of days. So if you have missed some of tonight and you want to catch up on it, it'll be there. And I'll be back tomorrow night with some more map making stuff. We have made a start on Waterdeep Dragon Heist maps, and we're going to sort of do a mix of Waterdeep Dragon Heist and Ice by Peak maps. I've made a start on some of those as well, so we're going to sort of chop and change between them. A bunch of maps to complete. And Wednesday, Lost Mines. Make sure you're back here. You'll see me, Mr. Grim Realities. You'll see Erico, JJ, and Darth Trashman once again on Wednesday for Lost Mines. And that is us. So we should probably raid someone. Baz, if you have to take off, you do so.
Yeah, mate, I probably will. Thank you very much, everybody. Not too many long nights coming. I'm getting on top of that now. We get to the end of the workload. So
that's all good, bro. We understand. Thank you for your story once again and your amazing storytelling. And
no problem
when we see you.
Thanks, team. See you next week.
So who are we going to chat, guys? Who are we going to raid? Anyone? I've got one person on my list, which is Stormy Dragon Tavern. Does anyone have anyone on their list? Perhaps someone doing Vampire the Masquerade or another D&D channel?
There's that Evldoa doing tabletop.
You shut your hole.
So helpful as always.
Fucking trash man. Every time. Yeah, it's like, he's right, but fuck you. So these guys have been running for just over an hour. Right? We'll raid these guys if no one else has any other suggestions. We'll look here. What is the truth? But he's still a douche. I mean that in the nicest possible way, Trash.
Yeah.
Wait for my bloody computer to catch up. But it's a bit slow. My streaming PC is a bit slow, not my one. But anywho, chat, that's us. We're going to say goodnight. I'll see you tomorrow. And see you in the Gilded. I'm always hanging out in the Gilded. If you guys want to chat in the Gilded, let me know. Hit me up. If you got any D&D questions, definitely ask away in the Gilded server, because there's not just me in there. We've got a bunch of DMs and players that are more than willing to help you out and answer any questions you might have. And we always talk D&D on map making night. So come and hang out, talk D&D, and watch me make some maps. Until then, everyone take care, and we will see you tomorrow.
Boy, everybody.
Bye.